And chat, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Route Double Before Crime After Days. Today, we're starting Route C, which I believe is the final route of the game. Hopefully it's more fun than Route B. I'm excited to see where things go after the end of Route A. I am excited. It'll be interesting. Tips to read from Chapter 7, Natsuhiko's Watch. Okay, I'll read that in a sec. Before I start, I do want to plug something. I just added a new $10 tier to my Patreon, where you can pick a game for me to check out for an hour once a month. You can pick a demo for me to play, a cheap indie game for me to play, something from my expansive list of games on Steam and PSN and Epic. If you want me to play a game I don't have, you do have to get it for me. But I have a lot of games you can have me check out that I've just never tried. It's $10. Go grab it. My Patreon is patreon.com/Loreweaver streams. The link's also in the description of the YouTube video and can be found with the ! Patreon command in Twitch chat. So yeah. Thank you to anybody who pledges. So yeah, let's do Route C. The man who never lost heart has finally exhausted his strength. A boy was watching him from the shadows all along. Just what happened there after the man shot the boy down and before he stood up again. Once he decides to leave his lookout and take matters into his own hands, the story will move towards its end. And thus, the present has arrived. Where is the truth? Alright, let's do it. Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." How's this relevant? The New Testament, Mark, chapter 5, verse 9. Okay, G for tips. Natsuhiko's watch. A Salvia-branded watch that Miyoko once gave to Shun as a present. Upon Shun's death, he had Miyoko give Natsuhiko the watch, along with a letter he wrote. Though it is a chronograph furnished with a stopwatch function, it uses a self-winding mechanism to charge a battery-powered quartz oscillator, so both the watch itself and its Salvia brand are nothing eye-catching in particular. Regardless, the reason Miyoko gave this watch to Shun was that the brand name Salvia was the name of a flower. Salvia is a type of sage. A sage can also mean a wise man. Salvia has a wide variety of meanings in the language of flowers. Respect, burning passion, my heart burns, love, wisdom, chastity, familial love. Everything is all right. A gift imbued with a hidden meaning in the language of flowers that wasn't actual flowers, but something practical instead. Ever since he was young, the watch has reminded Natsuhiko of how his mother never backed down as a woman, nor as a scientist. The thought always brings a wry smile to his face. Really? It makes him smile after almost a decade of her neglecting him? Come on. Also, shout out to the running noises that have been going since I started this chapter. The blood poured endlessly. From his side, his left arm, his right leg. Are we repeating the end? Are we repeating the end of Route B? Natsuhiko kept running, even though he was under the whitewashed tomb. He ran to get away from that man, and to defeat him. And at the end of his flight, Natsuhiko's feet brought him to a vast hall where 6 spires towered above him. and then a gunshot shrieked from behind. Natsuhiko fell, pain burning through his left arm. Blood puddled on the floor as darkness and helplessness descended upon him. So this is where you die. Natsuhiko didn't even have the energy to respond. Eventually, the man parted with these words. After you comes the girl. Natsuhiko stood up with all his might to put an end to the man's wicked deeds. There was but one thing Natsuhiko needed to do. Use his ability to destroy the man's mind. So he focused with all his mind, all his spirit. The man dropped his gun and screamed. His face rapidly froze over. And he ran for his life. Wait! Natsuhiko tried to pursue the man, but staggered. Slammed his back against a tower and collapsed on the spot. Blood streamed out from his entire body. He could feel his mortal flame fading. But to protect his beloved hometown and the people precious to him who lived within, so please, work! Shatter! He mustered the last of his strength to destroy every last memory that composed the man's mind. And as the man fell, Natsuhiko's consciousness rapidly faded away. Okay, so we have got 90 tips left to get. We're not even halfway through the tips. So my guess is that, well, it could be that there's an insane density of tips that are going to happen over the next few hours of gameplay. But my guess is that the story continues past this day and into later time where Natsuhiko tries to stop the terrorists. But we'll see. Eventually, far past that frozen time. Awake, a voice called to him. Or perhaps it was merely a memory of such a voice. He heard that voice as he lay beneath the whitewashed tomb. And then, time began to move. The watch didn't, though. Format, order. 9/16/2030. 9/16. His consciousness was in an endless darkness. It felt like a world shut off from everything. Sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. He'd been disconnected from all his senses. It didn't feel like there was a world around for him to experience at all. What? He had no idea what was going on. He couldn't even tell if he was dead or alive. What in the world am I? Ripples of bewilderment spread across the calm sea of nihility. And then... this is... His memory suddenly returned. He remembered who he was, where he was, what he was doing, what he had gotten himself into. That's right, I'm Natsuhiko Tenkawa. He remembered that he, an ordinary high school student, had caught wind of a terrorist attack and went to Labo to prevent it. And finally, he remembered that he got shot by a terrorist. Then, am I really dead after all? No. I can feel something pulsing. He certainly could feel a beat. A heartbeat. He had his senses of vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste, and pain. Both his body and consciousness were here. I'm still alive? Ten. Captain, please hang in there. Captain! Get up, Captain. Come on. Roused awake by those voices. I thought he woke up and got up before they showed up. Natsuhiko opened his eyes. Oh, wait. Hang on. Hang on! I was right. Natsuhiko jumped into Watase's brain. Well, maybe. You finally come to, haven't you? What a relief. I thought you bit it there for a sec. Before his eyes were two female rescue workers, one of whom he recognized. June? He tried to say her name, but for some reason his lips seemed to be paralyzed. He had his senses, yet it felt as if his nerves weren't connected properly to his body. It was a strange sensation. Wait! No! No! Are we going to replay all of Route A as Natsuhiko? No! It was a strange sensation. What? What's going on? As soon as Natsuhiko questioned the situation. No, where am I? His mouth moved on its own. And his body even got up in spite of Natsuhiko's intention. Natsuhiko was bewildered at the sight, for he was in a clearly different place than where he had passed out. An agonized voice suddenly came out of his body, which once again collapsed in the passageway. What's happening? He felt the sensation of a headache, yet he did not feel like what was happening was real. Are you okay? Are you in pain? No, I'm fine. His mouth moved on its own again, and then his arms suddenly came into view. Huh? Why am I in a rescue worker outfit? His body disregarded Natsuhiko's confusion and got up by leaning his arm against the wall. Why has my body been moving on its own? Is someone controlling me? But right when Natsuhiko considered that suspicion, he heard an explosion. Another explosion? Maybe a fire's broken out. Let's go, Lieutenant. Right, Captain, please rest here. We'll handle this one by ourselves. And with that, the two rescue workers ran off. They're saying I'm a rescue squad captain? What did I miss? Well, we've restarted Route A, apparently. In spite of Natsuhiko's bewilderment, his body moved on its own to follow the two women. Wait up, you guys. He just now realized he had heard that voice before. It was the voice of the terrorist who had shot him and Mashiro. Huh? Then that means this is that man's body? One second, guys. Area 1, B2, Outer Ring, was engulfed in hellfire. In spite of Natsuhiko's will, his body just stood there, dumbfounded. That's gotta be it. I must be in that man's body right now. He didn't know why he was inside him, but he knew that he was. That was when the man's ears picked up a faint voice. "Help me! Someone's in that room? Then they need to be saved." This is the voice Watase was hearing. Right as Natsuhiko came across that thought, the man dashed through a gap in the flames and discovered a world of fire and smoke. "Someone help me!" The man's eyes froze in place, and through the smoke he saw... Yeah, that's a surprise for Natsuhiko! Yuri! What's Yuri doing in a place like this? Am I hallucinating again? But right as Natsuhiko had that thought, the girl's face froze over. And then someone else's thoughts ran through Natsuhiko's consciousness. Well, what's with that look? What? What's with that voice? It sounded like telepathy. Before he realized it, the man's feet had stopped in their tracks. Could that voice have been what he was just thinking right now? If he's cognizant of her, does that mean she's not a phantom? She's a tulpa. Shit, then we've got to save Yuri, and quick. He could see the flames encroaching closer and closer to Yuri's body. If I can hear his voice, and I'm sure as hell that he can hear mine. Natsuhiko focused hard in the same way he would when he used telepathy. Yuri knows Watase is a terrorist? Well, seeing as she was sharing Natsuhiko's brain, I would assume yes. Don't stop. Save her. Go save her. Natsuhiko's voice echoed in the man's head. And with that command giving him the final push he needed, the man lunged into the blazing flames. Not 100% sure this Yuri is the same as Brain Ghost Yuri. Current Chapter 1, 9 to 10 a.m. Chapter... No! We're doing Route A again! Oh, God. Okay. Well, if she is a tulpa, then the name of Watase's scenes in A were in lowercase and Natsuhiko's were in all caps for B, so the naming scheme for the scenes here in C has both, yeah. Okay. Was Dosage the name of this chapter for, or this scene for Watase? Oh, God. But yeah, if Yuri's a tulpa, she came from Natsuhiko's mind. So, presumably, she would know what he knows. The fire was masterfully extinguished through the skillful efforts of the two rescue workers. Don't worry, miss. You're safe now. Are you hurt? No. Natsuhiko looked long and hard at the girl through the man's eyes. Is that really Yuri? But Yuri was supposed to have died 9 years ago. Yuri didn't have a twin sister by any chance, did she? No, I could have sworn Yuri was an only child. Could she be her clone or something then? Okay, so what's the timeline here? It's been a while. Okay. So, I believe the order of events was... the adults found... Yuri ran away from the adult crew. Then the adults found that dead child with a bullet hole in her. And then Watase had the vision of a dead Yuri. I believe that's the order of events in Route A. Yes, broadly. Okay. So the dead child, I believe, is related to Tulpa Yuri. But was Tulpa Yuri actually killed, or was that just a vision? And, okay. Did Tulpa Yuri steal the AD near the end of Route A? Also, will Natsuhiko communicate with Yuri via telepathy at any point during this? I wonder. So could she be her clone or something then? She was such a spitting image of Yuri that he couldn't help but ponder such absurd impossibilities. She's also wearing the clothes that Yuri was wearing in your head. At that time, the man's eyes turned towards the two rescue workers. By the way, can I ask you guys a question? You've been calling me captain. So does that mean I'm the captain of a rescue squad or something? Huh? The heck you talking about? What do you mean by that? Well, the thing is, I don't know anything. Not who I am or even where I am. Huh? Yeah, Yuri's surprised for a very different reason from Jun and Kazumi. Everyone on the outside was shocked by the man's confession, but Natsuhiko was rather relieved. Thank goodness, I successfully destroyed the man's mind. So how is Natsuhiko going to feel about this basically being a new person in Watase's body? Natsuhiko recalled what had happened back then. Oh, don't flash back to something that happened 5 minutes ago. Show me all the memories that compose his mind. Please, work. Shatter. That was Natsuhiko's memory of just before he had lost consciousness. Was that flashback really necessary? It happened we saw that 10 minutes ago. It was more accurate to say that he had destroyed the man's memories rather than his mind. They have to account for the chance player did the other route first. No, we just saw that in Route C. We just saw the shatter moment. As a result, the man appeared to be suffering from amnesia. Then did his hatred and murderous intent disappear too? He had no evidence that said that much, but all signs of the man's demeanor suggested that Natsuhiko could relax, for now. But Natsuhiko grew depressed as he recalled the details of his own loss of consciousness. His blood loss, his senses fading into darkness. He was by no means okay. Well, it's no wonder. With that many gunshot wounds, anybody would... Anybody would die like I did back there. That fact cast a dark shadow on Natsuhiko's mind. But then what am I now? Don't tell me I'm a ghost. As that possibility crossed his mind, he recalled a story he had heard just the other day. In an extreme example, some people are even considering the possibility that ghosts just might be another type of BC. BC energy created by telepathy starts decaying after it's sent, but it's not like it fades to zero immediately. So, in other words, with or without a target, extraordinarily strong BC can remain in place for a while. That also means that the feelings of the dead remain in this world, doesn't it? Natsuhiko likely died while he was still inside the man's mind. And thus, the BC energy Natsuhiko used was still lingering inside the man. Well, here's the question. Was evil Watase swapped into Natsuhiko at the same time? So my consciousness is in here now, huh? Who would have thought that I'd personally experience a hypothetical we discussed in class? It's almost like I've become an impure spirit, haunting the one who killed me. He was unbearably sad that he would no longer be able to see Mashiro, Salu, or even his own mother again. At that moment, Natsuhiko suddenly noticed that the lieutenant was trying to inject the girl with something. Please hold out your arm. No, I don't want that shot. You can't be like that. You'll be in grave danger without it. The lieutenant forcefully injected the girl. What's that drug? It's called AD. Put in simple terms, it's an anti-radiation drug. According to the lieutenant's explanation. AD was a drug provided by Labo that would serve as protection against certain levels of radiation for about 60 minutes. Okay, so, hang on. Is this entire route going to be cutscenes up until the point Natsuhiko gets his body back? Because Natsuhiko only influences Watase's actions like 4 or 5 times over the entire course of Route A. Is this entire route going to be cutscenes with no gameplay choices? Oh boy. AD was a drug provided by Labo that would serve as protection against certain levels of radiation for about 60 minutes. Furthermore, Labo also provided the rescue squad members with radiation measurement devices known as Procyon, which the squad apparently carried as they conducted their relief efforts. And during the lieutenant's explanation, she told the man this. And nearly 2 hours ago, that very same reactor went through a meltdown. That revelation gave both the man and Natsuhiko a great shock. No, in the end, the meltdown still happened? Well, not the way you thought it would. Damn it, I thought things would work out if I just defeated this bastard. The man's comrades probably blew up the nuclear reactor. Then what have we been fighting for? As Natsuhiko wallowed in his helplessness, the man checked his own pockets. He then found a single ampule of AD. Using it's a piece of cake. It comes with its own cartridge, so just put it in that. Now all you've got to do is break off the tip, put it against a vein, and then just press the end. The man administered the medicine as told, and a sudden change occurred in Natsuhiko's consciousness. Aha! It is anti-psychic powers! He was struck with an abrupt, intense feeling of loss. The same sensation he felt after he fought with the man. The sensation that he was fading away. What is this? Am I going to disappear just like this? His 5 senses rapidly faded into the distance. Death soundlessly drew near for the second time that day. And that's when Natsuhiko prayed from the bottom of his heart. That until he could confirm Mashiro's and Salu's safety, until he could discern that girl's true identity, don't let me disappear. But that prayer was in vain. Natsuhiko's consciousness was buried in the darkness. Encounter Reunion 1038. Before he knew it, his consciousness was in the darkness once again. He was in a world shut away from everything. All of his senses had shut off. How much time had passed? I didn't disappear? As soon as that realization hit Natsuhiko, he heard a voice echoing from somewhere. Her eyes so much just now. Is the radiation down here... Isn't good. Let's get out of here. Wait, it's not that much higher than the AD's limit. I think we'll still be okay. Is that June? And the other voices... His hearing soon returned, followed quickly by his sight. Hi, Salou. He saw a girl he was quite familiar with, standing there within the flames. Salou? Why is Salou here? No, first things first. Why have my senses come back? What's happening? Just then, someone beside the man looked at Salou and spoke up. Miss Sanamiya? Oh yeah, Anna, what the fuck are you doing here? Professor? She wasn't wearing her glasses, but there was no mistaking that it was Anna. What's Professor Tsubakiyama doing here? What on earth is going on right now? Beside the man were June and Anna, all surrounded by flames. As Natehiko struggled to process everything in his extreme confusion, the man shouted at Salou. Calm down. You don't have to be afraid of us. We came here to save you. But predictably, the terrorist's persuasive words to Salou fell on deaf ears. She turned around and ran away. June and the man pursued her. She flash-stepped. Luis, why are you running away? It's me, June. Wait. 9307 MSV? Oh, come on, give us a break. You take the left. Yeah. June and the man chased Salou into an area contaminated by the radiation. The man was assailed by an intense headache and numb skin, and the pain propagated to Natehiko as well. Are these the effects of radiation? Then Salou must be taking the same radiation damage too. But as he thought that, he caught a glimpse of Salou's back in the corner of the man's eye. Wait, please wait! Salou seemed to be in pain. The bandage on her left arm was oozing with blood. Natehiko promptly screamed at the man. Stop! Don't follow her! Don't chase her! Stop right there! Shut the hell up! The man rejected Natehiko's cry and ran even faster. Those words set off a seething rage within Natehiko for the terrorist that killed him. You're not laying a finger on Salou! Natehiko focused with all his spirit and destroyed the man's current memory of that very instant. Man, that's a fucked up power. It does put me in mind of a short story I wrote a few years back, though, about a supervillain who could erase memories, who tried to turn hero by altering the minds of other supervillains and reforming them. Or just taking them out of contention. I'm proud of that story. It's part of a larger superhero universe that I've been working on for a while. The man appeared to have collapsed. Salou's footsteps faded into the distance, and as the man's consciousness became dim, it almost seemed to pull Natehiko's consciousness away with... Action. Deadlock. Though he couldn't tell how many times he'd felt this sense of vanishing, it didn't last very long. Eventually, a sharp sound echoed in the darkness, shaking Natehiko awake. If we're at 11 a.m., why isn't it a new chapter now? Because the chapter 1 said 9 to 10. Is that sound a watch alarm? Oh, we're already here. Okay. As his 5 senses connected to the world, he heard the sounds of the man speaking with the lieutenant, echoing off in the distance. Administer the AD to everyone. Me have 3 of them. They're administering AD? So it's been an hour since they first administered it? But why did I regain consciousness now of all times? A prickling pain ran through the man's arm. It appeared he just administered himself with AD. And just then, that sense of vanishing assailed Natsuhiko once more. Why? Why am I going through this sensation once more? It happened each time the man administered AD. Don't tell me this sensation is due to the AD. But I thought AD was an anti-radiation drug. Natsuhiko was beginning to realize something. Something possibly vital. But in the blink of an eye, the darkness consumed Natsuhiko's thoughts. Natsuhiko thought to himself, search bafflement, 1141. Natsuhiko thought to himself in the darkness. What the hell is going on? Why are my senses cutting in and out intermittently? Is my lingering BC energy becoming unstable inside the man's head? But there was no way he could reach an answer. He had no information to work with, and without his 5 senses, the best he could do was guess. A ghost, huh? Right now, I'm an even more fleeting existence than I thought. Eventually, even his sense of time grew vague. And then he was abruptly greeted by his 4th awakening. How many personas does that go through then? In an instant, all his senses came back to him. Moribe, we'll meet up in the center. Roger. What? Once Natsuhiko came to, he realized the man was running through a passageway. The man's intense headache and numbness of the skin faintly propagated to Natsuhiko. It's the same feeling as last time. Is anyone there? Say something if you are. The man raised his voice as he searched through the room and moved on to the next. Eventually, the man's rushed, impatient thoughts vaguely propagated to Natsuhiko. Survivors and AD. You remember that bad ending where Watase found a bisected Kazumi? That happens because there Watase raised his hand as if he was going to hit Yuri, so Natsuhiko jumped the gun and knocked him out for a while. Ha! That makes sense. Survivors and AD. He was apparently looking for those 2 things. Moribe, any luck? I checked all 3 rooms, but I got nothing. Same here. Then this one's the only room left. The room the man was looking at had a nameplate reading Dr. Miyoko Tenkawa. This is Mom's office. That's right. This is where Yuri disappeared and I learned the truth. But then who's that girl that looks exactly like her? Moribe, let's go in. Yeah. And as the 2 of them entered the room, June's watch chimed. Already? Excuse me. Let's get out of here. We promised we'd go back after 3 minutes. As he heard those words, Natsuhiko finally understood the situation. It seemed the 2 of them had designated a specific time frame for them to search a contaminated zone. I see, so that's why they're in such a rush. Wait, now that I think about it, wasn't the place they chased Salu also a contaminated zone? Wait, don't tell me. A certain hypothesis came to Natsuhiko's mind, that came to my mind 20 hours of gameplay ago. And he got evidence supporting that hypothesis once June and the man slipped out of the contaminated zone. For right as the man shut the security gate, Natsuhiko's 5 senses rapidly faded away. I knew it! My awakening has some sort of connection with the contaminated zones. And as he held that conviction, Natsuhiko's consciousness once again sank into the darkness. Once he was shut inside the darkness, Natsuhiko began to think. But even if I figured that out, what good does it do? I'm still nothing more than a ghost now, aren't I? Natsuhiko was struck with helplessness. But even so, it was only a few dozen minutes later that he eventually reached a turning point. 12-1 chapter. Flashback. No! No! Flashback awakening. The fifth awakening groggily began. Terrorist down here with us. The terrorist is one of the 9. One of the 8. No one's saying that at all. Then do you mean to say there's a terrorist among the 6 of us? That's even more unlikely. Several people around the man were arguing about something. What's the situation this time? What's this about a terrorist? Don't tell me they figured out the man's true colors. But how? I could have sworn I erased his memories. Alright, let's just all calm down for a minute, guys. What's your problem? You're the only one who hasn't spoken their thoughts on the matter, right? Once Natsuhiko regained his sight, he first saw Enna's face. Shouldn't he be calling her Professor Tsubakiyama? Near her were June, the lieutenant, the girl, and Ukita. Even Mr. Ukita's in Labo? Why? I mean, when Mr. Ukita had that guest lecture, he said, in the unlikely event a leak occurs, the automatic radiation leakage prevention system activates. Several bulkheads and gates are installed that lock down to completely shut out the scattering of radioactive material. He should have very well known that it could have been locked underground in the case of a meltdown. It's confirmed, because Watase took Ukita's card. Watase took Ukita's card and locked him in that room. And the only cards Watase had were level N cards. So it's confirmed that Ukita has a much higher clearance than he was letting on. He should have very well known that it could have been locked underground in the case of a meltdown. So why did Mr. Ukita stay behind during the evacuation? Was he really the sleeper agent? For a moment, he saw Ukita in a suspicious light, but... No, wait a second. Something's not right if you think about it. If Mr. Ukita were with the terrorist, then he'd have escaped as soon as the meltdown happened. But at any rate, I still don't know why he stayed underground. What's more, it's odd that Professor Tsubakiyama's here too. What business would a high school teacher have in a place like this? His doubts didn't stop there. He was still completely in the dark about who Yuri's lookalike was, or why she was here. It's no use. There's just way too many things I don't understand. Fine, in that case. As Natsuhiko recalled the time he dived into Mashiro's memories. He dove into Mashiro's memories. I want to know. He focused on that wish with all his spirit. Oh, and he read all of Watase's new memories at once. At that moment, all of the man's memories, starting from when he had awoken, floated before Natsuhiko's eyes. Memories of a heroic struggle in the midst of a hopeless situation. Ah, so Natsuhiko will know that Watase's completely different now. Why did it zoom on Kazumi's boobs? The announcement of a case N, and the subsequent lockdown of all the bulkheads. The encounter with Enna and Ukita, who were trapped below. The pressing fires, the spreading radiation, the lack of AD, the difficult search for survivors. And the gruesome murders that occurred within the inescapable walls of Labo. To overcome those countless hardships, the man threw himself into danger and kept on advancing, regardless of any injuries he sustained. Is Natsuhiko going to actually like the new Watase? Eventually, they reached an escape route, the cargo lift in Area 6. Oh, unfortunate, but what was waiting for them there was the control panel Natsuhiko destroyed. And the corpse of an unfamiliar girl. Is that a Yuri clone? Natsuhiko's consciousness returned from the man's memories and linked back to the present. Before he knew it, all eyes were on the man. Hey, what's with the sudden silent treatment? Well, I've got a brain ghost messing with me. What the hell was that? The man appeared to be thoroughly confused himself. Natsuhiko gasped at that sign. Don't tell me he saw those memories the same time I did. If that were the case, then the man had relived his memories of 3 hours in the span of a few seconds. Not his memories as a terrorist, but rather his memories as the rescue worker known as Watase Kasasagi. The current Watase was almost a completely different person compared to the homicidal murderer. Can memory loss alone cause such a drastic change in someone? If the man's true self was how he was before he lost his memory, then where in the world did the current Watase get his personality from? But there were more pressing matters for Natsuhiko to ponder. Was it a personality transfer and he got more than just a Natsuhiko ride-along? In any case, murders in Labo? What's going on here? I think the 2 rescue workers who died were probably the terrorists from back then, but what kind of Labo researcher would go so far as to kill a girl like that, and for what purpose? If all of those incidents happened after the bulkheads shut, then does that mean the perpetrator is among the people present? Also, we have confirmation that if that child was real, then she died after Natsuhiko and Watase had their confrontation in the cargo room. Did Ukita kill her during one of the time periods when he was away from the group? He's got clearance level N. But did he still have an N card? They're in Area 6 right now. How many Area 6 cards were there that they found? And did Ukita get one? Huh. It wasn't just him remembering, it was Natsuhiko recapping his memory. Oh no, the curse of the flashbacks has infected Watase. If all those incidents happened after the bulkhead shut, does that mean the perpetrator is among the people present? Just then, Watase looked around at everyone, as though he too shared Natsuhiko's doubts. First was Ukita. Is Mr. Ukita the sleeper agent, or did he merely get dragged into this mess? If Mr. Ukita is in fact the sleeper agent, then maybe he double-crossed the terrorists for some reason. At the very least, that brings up the possibility that he killed the 2 terrorists. Next was Enna. I don't want to think of Professor Tsubakiyama as a murderer. But if she isn't, then what's she even doing here? After she refused to cooperate with us when we asked for help, she's the last person I expected to see here. She explained to everyone that she came here because a staff member called her up. But I'm not so sure about that. Yeah, I think that was a lie. What the fuck are you doing here, Anna? Okay, so what if Anna is the sleeper agent? Also, sleeper agent is the wrong term. Because sleeper agents... Well, is sleeper agent the wrong term? The right term would be mole. I think sleeper agents generally are people who don't know that they're double agents and get, like, activated by something. Like a code phrase or what have you. And next came the other two rescue workers. June and Lieutenant Tachibana are in the same rescue squad as the terrorists. But as far as I can tell from how they've acted so far, they seem trustworthy enough. Especially June. I definitely can't see her killing anyone ever. And finally, Watase turned to look at the girl who called herself Yuri, but Yuri's gone. You're right, but why? When Watase looked around in a panic, he caught a glimpse of her from behind. Okay, so they found the dead child, and then Yuri immediately left at the first opportunity. Did she recognize herself? Does she have memories? Is the Yuri Tulpa aware of her existence in Natsuhiko's brain? That's the popular use of sleeper agent, but a general sleeper agent is someone who's sent somewhere not to take an immediate mission, but to eventually awake if they're called upon on short notice. Gotcha. Found her. She headed for Area 5. Watase and the rest of the group split up and searched for Yuri once she ran off into Area 5. I don't think Moribe ever told Yuri that the inner ring was a contaminated zone. If she ran there, those thoughts were imbued with the righteous desire to save people, as if it were only second nature to him. Go, save her! Natsuhiko approved of Watase's intentions as he ran into the contaminated zone. Terror. Erasure. His Procyon's alarm blaring, Watase found Yuri in front of the elevator hall. Yuri! So you really did come after me? What do you mean you really did come after me? Of course I did. Anyway, this place is dangerous. It's a contaminated zone. Okay, I expressed misgivings about rehashing Route A at the start of Route C, but this is actually skimming through and only showing bits and pieces that Natsuhiko's mind is involved in, and this is actually handling it very well. Anyway, this place is dangerous. It's a contaminated zone. You're always worrying about me like this, aren't you? But then why? Why did you do something so horrible to me back then? Does she have Natsuhiko's memories? Those words confused both Natsuhiko and Watase. Something so horrible? What could she be talking about? There wasn't any applicable answer to be found within Watase's memories, but do you really not remember? A minute later and I would have died. Oh, right. She thinks it's horrible that she was saved. I was really scared when I found myself trapped all alone in that sea of flames. Imagine doing B, then A, and then C. Yeah. And yet you were also the one who saved me. Oh no, she is talking about something from before. She's got Natsuhiko's memories, doesn't she? Once he heard that, Natsuhiko finally understood. I see, she probably knew of Watase from before he lost his memories. If that were the case, then of course she'd be confused as to why Watase currently seemed to be a completely different person. Yuri stepped up to Watase and spoke up. Captain Kasasagi, please. Please let me know your mind. Let me know your mind? Wait, does that mean she's a communicator too? As soon as that thought hit Natsuhiko, a certain memory flickered in Watase's brain. Huh. Is this a memory of when we fought? But why? Didn't I erase all his memories? A moment later. Watase screamed and made a mad dash out of the elevator hall. Okay, so it wasn't Natsuhiko inflicting that on him. His mind was whirling with intense fear. For some reason, he was equating Yuri with his memory of Natsuhiko from back then. Natsuhiko recalled the mental voice he heard from Watase right before the memory erasure. Communicators aren't human. They're mind-corrupting monsters. This is a monster hunt. Kill or be killed. Kill, 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 kill. Kill, 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 kill. Don't tell me his emotions from back then are coming back. Crap, she's going to be in danger if this keeps up. In an attempt to save Yuri, Natsuhiko once again sought to destroy Watase's current memory. Disappear! At that very moment, Watase's mouth spewed blood and vomit. What's this all of a sudden? It couldn't be an effect of erasing his memory, could it? Now that he thought about it, Watase also fainted when Natsuhiko erased his memory to give Salu a chance to escape. It seemed that the bodily damage of memory erasure was no laughing matter. So, this was not the radiation damage making him vomit and spit up blood. This was Natsuhiko. Remind me, did any of the others throw up? I think I remember Kazumi throwing up. I don't recall Benabit. Fair enough. It seemed that the bodily damage of memory erasure was no laughing matter. If I keep doing this, will it end up killing him? Watase's consciousness was rapidly fading away. Crap, if this bastard dies now, then... Natsuhiko's current existence was extremely unstable, as he had lost his flesh and was no more than a consciousness lingering inside Watase's brain. If Watase, the host body, so to speak, were to die, then... would I disappear too? Screw that! I don't want to disappear! There was no way he could disappear without knowing the full story behind this incident, without solving the mystery behind the girl who called herself Yuri. I really hate to admit it, but I'm in the same boat as this bastard. This isn't the time to just give up and die. Wake the hell up, Watase Kasasagi. Natsuhiko wished with all his strength. And Watase reclaimed consciousness with a scream. All right, he's holding out for now. They had wasted time, but probably not that much. How's the girl? But by the time Watase rushed back into the elevator hall, Yuri had already disappeared. Afterwards, Watase and the others concluded their search for Yuri for the time being and regrouped in the neuroscience laboratory in Area 5. Uh, okay. At this scene break, I'm going to take a quick break. I need to refill my water jug. I'll be back in a few minutes. back. All right. Afterwards, Watase and the others concluded their search for Yuri for the time being and regrouped in the neuroscience laboratory in Area 5. I checked B2, but I didn't find her. Me neither. So we've really lost sight of her, huh? As he watched everyone give their reports with depressed faces, Natsuhiko thought to himself, I ended up helping her escape. Was that really the right choice? Well, it's not like I had a choice back then. As Natsuhiko agreed with himself, he focused on the laboratory itself. Gotta love Ukita just cut off at the eyeballs. The sight of all the equipment ready there began to bother him. That's strange. Laboratories like these usually experiment on mice and stuff, don't they? So why is all the equipment here scaled for human use? Gee, I wonder why, Natsuhiko. As Natsuhiko pondered on that observation, Ukita suddenly started interrogating Watase. In fact, why did you go to the basement in the first place? How did you lose your memories? Well, amnesia caused by external trauma normally fades away with the progression of time, yet you show no signs of recovery, regardless of how long it's been. Do you not find that strange? Mr. Ukita, are you implying something? I am. It is my belief that Captain Kasasagi may be lying about having amnesia. Natsuhiko's like, no! That's impossible. Why would he ever need to lie about something like that? I believe that it's because he's trying to hide something. No, if I'm to be completely honest, I've suspected that from the very beginning. What's gotten into Mr. Ukita all of a sudden? Is he blaming Yuri's disappearance on Watase? I mean, it is kind of his fault, but still. Does that mean Mr. Ukita wasn't one of Watase's comrades? I mean, it could be rats escaping a sinking ship. As Natsuhiko pondered that thought, Watase objected to Ukita's accusation. I've done nothing wrong, even without my memories. Then go ahead and prove your innocence. Watase was pierced by everyone's suspicious stares. Ukita's accusation was persuasive enough. But if their suspicion of him grows any stronger, what will happen to Watase? If they restrain him, it'll restrict my ability to act too, won't it? Also, in the off chance that Mr. Ukita was the one who killed everyone, if there's discord between the terrorists inside this facility, then Ukita could very well end up killing Watase anyway. In which case, Natsuhiko's spirit would likely vanish as well. What do we do? It doesn't look like Mr. Ukita's willing to give up on his suspicions of the current Watase. Should I try temporarily restoring the bastard's memories? No, I can't. If I did, that would truly be the revival of a murderer in itself. Then what should I do? What the hell can I do? As he searched for options, he suddenly remembered the lesson from a few days ago. In short, BC is direct brain-to-brain communication. Telepathy stimulates the parts of the brain responsible for hearing to produce the same response as if it were actually hearing it. So it's a kind of hallucination? True, but since it's the brain perceiving the information, that might already make it a hallucination to begin with. Theoretically, that influence isn't limited to the sense of hearing. The possibilities of BC are endless. God, why does the game always... I know why, but why does the game always show Enna and Kazumi propping up their boobs so they're more prominent? It's also interesting that it wasn't Natsuhiko and Mashiro that were stealing the AD, so who did? Who was open? Well, that removes those two from the equation, but it's possible that it was Salu. It's possible that it was Ukita. It's possible that it was Enna. It's possible that it was Kazumi. I don't think it's possible that it was June. I think June's narrative arc is different from that. Excuse me. So we've got suspects. I think of those possibilities, it is most likely that it was Enna or Ukita. But was Enna just in the timeline where Enna kisses Watase? Hang on. If Enna is the sleeper agent and she knows Watase, hang on. If Enna's the sleeper agent and she knows Watase, could that just be the culmination of her actually having a romantic relationship with him before the memory loss? That kiss? Hang on. That's suspicious. Well, no, she was openly suspicious of Watase to start with. No, her reactions to Watase when there wasn't anyone else around at early on were negative. Hang on. Wait, no. Did Enna have any interactions with Watase early on when they were alone together? I think they did. I think they did. No, it can't be Enna then, unless I'm misremembering. Or that can't be the Enna story. Enna was pretty disparaging of Watase at the start. Yes, but was she disparaging of Watase when they were alone together? If she was trying to throw off people's suspicions, she would have been disparaging of him when they were with everyone else. But was she disparaging of him when they were alone together? Is the question. Huh. Okay. Something to file away in the old brain pan. I see. If I can cause the brain to hallucinate in senses other than just hearing. If Natsuhiko could deceive not just Watase's hearing, but his sight, his touch, and his sense of time, as well as his awareness itself. Ah, so this is setting up when Natsuhiko gave Watase the vision of the dead Yuri. He could, in essence, fabricate a memory within the mind. Oh, and that explains why Watase had those convenient memories coming back that were topical throughout Route A. Can I do it? I've got no choice. I have to. Natsuhiko immediately focused his mind and wormed his way into Watase's consciousness. And stretched him like taffy. He could feel time was flowing slowly compared to the real world. Let's see. In short, all I need to do is prove that Watase was conducting rescue squad activities, so Natsuhiko began by projecting his own memories. And you are? We're the rescue squad that received a distress call from Labo. Rescue squad? You kids must be survivors, right? Yeah, we happened to be down here by coincidence and got caught up in all this. Don't smile, brain ghost Yuri. Natsuhiko focused hard on that vision. To plant the memory into Watase's mind, Natsuhiko concentrated on it even harder than he would when using telepathy. Did it make it through? The moment Natsuhiko asked himself that, he saw the new vision floating among Watase's memories. Could be Brain Ghost of the Tulpa, who knows? No. That Yuri was the Brain Ghost Yuri. That was before Brain Ghost Yuri faded away. And we saw at the end of Route B, Tulpa Yuri come into existence. There was a gap between Yuris. It's working. BC can be used to fabricate memories. His power is crazy dangerous? Yep. I've had enough experience with Watase's point of view, so if I apply our joint memories to good use, it should be easy for me to create new ones from scratch. Next, I should create the image that Watase's comrades were proper rescue workers as well. Natsuhiko concentrated once more. We're the rescue squad that received a distress call from Labo. I think that's what the first guy was like. The other one was... You'd have been better off not noticing that. We should have put you through a little more pain back then. It was a mistake to show you mercy. Yeah, don't make him remember that. Okay, good, but going by my memory of him would make him out to be an obvious terrorist, so... Natsuhiko used the voice he heard the second man use as a base to manipulate the vision so that the man said something else. Captain, we've discovered survivors in the basement. Get down here right away. Ah, that explains it. That explains it. Get down here right away. No. Captain, we've discovered survivors in the basement. Get down here right away. A little bit more. Captain, we've discovered survivors in the basement. Get down here right away. Okay, a vision like that's sure to work. Natsuhiko then moved on to imagine the men conducting rescue activities. "6:42 a.m. Watase received a radio transmission from one of his subordinates and went down to the basement. This bit here is a bit weird without the VA, but basically Natsuhiko's refining how they sound. They're very squeaky in the first two versions. Yeah, that is kind of a loss from not having the voice acting. But, like, I kind of had to turn off the voice acting, right? Like, it would just be me sitting here in silence for minutes on end, listening to the game talk. Well, I guess it wouldn't narrate the non-dialogue bits. Never mind. Several minutes after that, he ran in the basement with his two subordinates. Watase was wearing his protection suit. His subordinates were wearing ones as well. Captain, over here. I heard footsteps coming from this way. And eventually, they encountered the children. They must have gotten a report and came to rescue us. Natsuhiko just pasting a fake smile on his face. We're saved. Hey there, please save us. Survivors. That vision floated amidst Watase's memories. Alright, looks like this will work. But it still lacks credibility, so... What's your names? He's Natsuhiko, and I'm Mashiro, and this one's Salu. Salu? A nickname. Comes from Luis Yui Sanamiya. I see. Watase looked at his watch as he spoke. The hands pointed to 6:52. That's not Watase's watch. That's Natsuhiko's watch. And Watase's memory was appended with that detail as well. Professor Tsubakiyama is the only one here who should know Salu's nickname, so hopefully that'll get her to believe him. Wait, what? Just then, Natsuhiko noticed a certain oddity about the memory he had just forged. Watase's watch turned into my watch. Well, why would that happen? By changing someone's memories, do my own memories have an effect on them? Is that it? He tried thinking about it, but he couldn't quite understand the reason why. Just brain messes splattering together. It bugs me, but I guess there's no helping it. Let's continue. Knowing Salu's nickname might not be sufficient evidence on its own. If Professor Tsubakiyama doesn't pick up on it, then it's all over. I need to add one more memory to gain everyone's trust for sure. As he considered that requirement, Natsuhiko figured out what would make the perfect evidence. Now that I think about it, a few hours ago, back when he and Mashiro had been locked up in Area 5, they'd entered Miyoko Tenkawa's office in their search for a security card. And inside his mother's desk drawers, Natsuhiko had discovered several metal boxes packed with medical ampules. I didn't realize it back then, but that must have been AD, right? Watase and Jun had later gone into Miyoko Tenkawa's office and found 5 ampules of AD, but they didn't find the ones inside the desk drawers. So if I just bestow Watase with this memory of the AD, there was AD in a place like this? There was this much AD being kept inside the facility too? Natsuhiko bestowed Watase with that memory and returned to reality. All this took a second and a half. The speed of thought! And as soon as he did, he heard Watase shout. Captain, please calm down. Convenient memory regaining, as far as they can tell. Oh my god. It's so distracting. Like, I get that they're trying to appeal to horny weebs and horny otakus. But why is, for the entire game, Enna and Kazumi's bus being propped up by their arms? Half the poses they go in highlight their breasts. Captain, please calm down. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. More importantly, I just remembered. Huh? Wait, does that mean my memory came back? And as a result of the memory Natsuhiko had bestowed upon him, Watase was able to dodge suspicion. After they had discovered AD in Miyoko Tenkawa's office, Watase and the others discussed their plans going forward. Apprehensions, misgivings. Okay, now that we've got my story cleared up, there's something more important we need to discuss. You're talking about Miss Yuri, aren't you? Yeah, it's far too dangerous for her to be wandering around this huge facility. And there's also Natsuhiko and the others to worry about too. We've looked all over Labo and still haven't found them. Well, Mashiro's not here anymore. Natsuhiko's not findable with your current resources. Or I guess maybe they have the Area N card by now. Natsuhiko's in a place you can't go. And Salu... And that leaves one person to run around and escape from you guys. And you still found her twice. We've looked all over Labo and still haven't found them. Then either they really are moving around or we missed them somewhere. Natsuhiko pondered to himself as he listened in on the conversation. Mashiro aside, since she escaped to the surface. I guess that means the problem is whether or not Yuri and Salu are safe, huh? That and where I am, I guess. Thinking about the topic of his own whereabouts made him feel hopeless. With Watase and the others having already concluded their search of most of Labo, there was only one place remaining where Natsuhiko's body could be. Area N. That was the only logical place. They're saying there's a raging fire going on in there. Even if my body escaped being incineration by some miracle, being incinerated, it's probably been exposed to ungodly amounts of radiation. I guess there really is no chance at all that I'm still alive. Though it was something he had already anticipated, Natsuhiko was still depressed to learn that he didn't even have a glimmer of hope. Maybe I should be grateful that I even still have a consciousness here, but he had no idea how long that would last. The lingering BC energy in Watase's brain could die out that very same moment, erasing Natsuhiko from all existence. But still, I've been awake for quite a while this time, haven't I? Just a while ago, my consciousness would cut in and out like crazy. So what changed that? As Natsuhiko questioned that fact, Watase glanced at his Procyon. It read 4531 MSV. The value's rising. Now that I think about it, my consciousness has been awakening in contaminated zones. Huh? Wait a minute. What was the AD tolerance level? The safety standard is within 4000 MSV. In other words, there's no danger of radiation contamination there so long as we've injected ourselves with AD. That was a conversation Watase had with Kazumi in his memories. What if my consciousness stopped cutting out once the radiation level surpassed the AD tolerance level? But how would that even work? Question mark, question mark, question mark. A plausible reason Natsuhiko came up with was that as the radiation grew stronger, it would damage Watase's body, thereby lowering the man's consciousness level. Nope, it's psychic radiation, and conversely, Natsuhiko's consciousness and sensation would be given more room to return. If consciousness is a type of energy, then that conjecture holds some water, doesn't it? As Natsuhiko's thoughts ran about, Watase spoke up in a tense voice. If the contamination keeps on increasing at this rate, the whole facility may eventually be filled with over 8,000 MSV. If that happens, then it'll be the same as not having any AD at all, huh? If that's the case, then both Salu and that girl are... Oh, they're all at 0, huh? By no means safe. Oh, right. I recommend going with Enna for this. Oh, this is the split. This is the split you guys had. You had me go through 3 times with each of the 3 characters. The one I went through in my final playthrough was Kazumi, right? Because Enna... June was the one I did first. Right. Before hitting the normal end, yeah. Huh. Okay. Are you going to have me go through this 3 times? And it's the only interesting one to see, but you can if you want to. Nah, I don't wanna belabor the point with this game. So we'll go with Enna, since you say she's interesting. By no means safe. After that, the group's discussion progressed, and they eventually decided on a course of action. They would split into 2 teams and begin their search that way, so as to not overlook any of the survivors. This game has plenty of belaboring of points on its own, yeah. Okay, then I'll help out as much as I can. But I want to avoid risking Watase regaining his memories, so who should I team him up with? I guess Professor Tsubakiyama would be best. I mean, I do want to know the reason she's here in Labo. And then, as if that thought had a considerable effect on Watase, Teach, you good with teaming up with me? Watase made that proposition, which was quickly accepted. Ukita ended up joining Watase's group, and after the 3 of them made another sweep of Area 5, they headed to the factory. Message. Private message. Ooh. Is Natsuhiko gonna use telepathy to contact somebody else? Would he even be able to in Watase's body? After Watase's team made another sweep of Area 5, they moved towards Area 6. And as they searched the inner ring, Enna suddenly spoke up. Oh, what's this? Enna was pointing to a whiteboard with the following message written on it. From the Tir Rain to Altair, the bridge of bird wings. Did you guys manage to escape, or are you still here? I haven't found you after all my searching, so perhaps you're long gone. But I'd like to reunite with you as soon as possible, if you are indeed still here. If you guys are the ones reading this, then answer the following question. Was Sirius able to escape from his cage on that night of the full moon? Oh man, now I understand what that was about. The hell's this? It looks like a message from one person to another. The two of them tilted their heads in confusion, but Natsuhiko alone understood the meaning of that message. From the Tir Rain to Altair, the bridge of bird wings. That's a message from Salu to me and Mashiro, isn't it? She wrote it in a cryptic way, perhaps as a way to prevent the terrorists from intercepting the message. Most likely, Tir Rain meant Saruyu, Salu. Altair meant Hikoboshi, Natsuhiko. The bridge of bird wings meant Toba, Mashiro. That is why the dog flashback was relevant. Yeah, it wasn't just character building. Did you guys manage to escape? Well, one of us did. Or are you still here? Well, one of us is. I'd like to reunite with you as soon as possible, if you are indeed still here. Natsuhiko thought he felt his chest tighten as he read the message. I'm sorry, Salu. Mashiro escaped to the surface, but me? I'm already... Was Sirius able to escape from his cage on that night of the full moon? The answer to that was obviously yes. That night, Natsuhiko and Mashiro did indeed successfully set Sirius free from the city. Oh man, what if Natsuhiko makes Watase come back and write a message and then removes his memory of it? But this time, Natsuhiko was already dead, and now Salu was trapped inside the same cage. Natsuhiko wanted to set Salu free from this hell, no matter what the cost. Before his spirit faded away, Salu, please be safe. But shortly later, trouble occurred. While Watase was climbing the elevator shaft, one of the ladder's stairs broke off. Immediately afterwards, an intense shock ran from Watase's back to the crown of his head, instantly robbing him of his consciousness. Once he woke up, only Enna was there. Watase and Enna resumed the search, chasing after Ukita, who had gone ahead. But Ukita was already nowhere to be found. Now, I got it muddled up. Doubt and irritation. I got it muddled up because we went through the final couple hours of... Well, we went through the final couple in-game hours of Route A multiple times. So it's way further in the past for me than it should be. But what time did they discover that the AD was gone? It was after this. But was it immediately after this? Huh. It was after the Yuri body Watase saw. Okay. There were no results in the effort to rejoin with Ukita, and so the search continued. Eventually, ending at the reference room. I've been wondering how this was going to go with Natsuhiko in his head. Watase looked toward one of the bookshelves inside and found it to be tightly packed with books and theses. An Introduction to the Informational Field Theory, author Miyoko Tenkawa. Elementary Particles, Information, and Consciousness, author Miyoko Tenkawa. ESP Synchronization Hypothesis, author Antoine Courbet, translator Miyoko Tenkawa. Cerebrum, Labyrinth of Physiology, author Ryokan Kashiwagi. Hang on. It is 87 degrees outside according to my weather tracker, so I am de-shirting myself. Oh, I wish I could run the AC while I was streaming. Oh well. Cerebrum, Labyrinth of Physiology, author Ryokan Kashiwagi. Unbinding from Pseudoscience, The Future and Prospects of Parapsychology, author Koki Sumida. That's the guy who died 9 years ago. Before Crime, After Days, author Chikage Sonomura. Particles, the Mind and the Brain, author Shuya Eriguchi. A lot of these seem to be written by Mom, but Informational Field, ESP Synchronization, what on earth is Mom researching? Do those things relate to nuclear power research? They sure don't, buddy. As if influenced by the curiosity in Natsuhiko's consciousness, Watase picked up the book, An Introduction to the Informational Field Theory, author Miyoko Tenkawa. An Introduction to the Informational Field Theory. Forward. In modern physics, all phenomena that shape the natural world can be explained with 4 fundamental forces. But there are phenomena, such as the accelerating universe and so on, that cannot be explained by these 4 fundamental forces alone. It has become clear from recent high-precision observation that the rate at which the universe expands accelerates with time. It is from that survey that the theory of an unknown energy known as dark energy, repulsive gravity, was born. But if dark energy supposedly does exist, then what is it? Various conjectures have been conceived, but they are all merely speculation. Thus, I continued to look into that force from the perspective of an elementary particle physicist and formed a hypothesis. Could it be information? If a 5th fundamental force does indeed exist, there is a high possibility that it is, in fact, information. I used a numerical formula to express the equivalence of information, volume, and energy. Then, after deriving its value, I discovered that said value completely matched up with the rate of universal expansion. In other words, dark energy. I don't really get it, but Mom seems to think its true form is information, huh? Now that I think about it, Professor Tsubakiyama said that information is a type of energy during her lecture too, didn't she? But what is this thesis trying to say then? The following conjecture is based off this theory. Even information itself can exist independently. It can possibly interact, be conveyed, without the use of other forces as an intermediary. For example, since a human's thoughts are a type of information, they can communicate with others without the need for those thoughts to be converted into another medium, such as electrical signals. This is a somewhat extreme expression I am using here, but this is the gist of the informational field hypothesis. The informational field is the place where information operates as the 5th fundamental force/energy. If we are to consider this by using the human brain as an example, the informational field generated from thought information may in fact be what we call the consciousness. It is still unclear as of this point as to what the process that creates a consciousness entails. All we do know is that a consciousness is generated inside the brain when countless memories, equal fragments of information, and electric signals running through the synapses interact. However, another conjecture can be formed when you think on the basis of this hypothesis. If information can exist independently, then that means a consciousness does not necessarily have to form in a brain. If a fixed amount of information gathers in one spot and interacts with each other, a consciousness can be born right then and there. The Yuri Tulpa! Furthermore, if information can be controlled, then it should also be possible to artificially create a consciousness. Hang on. When Yuri got injected with AD, Did she always have a moment of weakness afterwards where it started to affect her? I can't remember. Huh. It should also be possible to artificially create a consciousness. Artificially create a consciousness? I can't see how that research has anything to do with nuclear power science. No, wait, maybe I'm mistaken? Labo's full name is the 6th Laboratory of Atomic and Biological Organization, right? So maybe Mom wasn't researching the atomic part, but the biological part? In conclusion, the various theories laid out in the informational field hypothesis have yet to be proven. But this thesis has been reappraised in a form I never once expected. This is all due to a rapid yet drastic change that has recently swept society. That change is the manifestation of BC. The ability known as BC has been widely acknowledged by society in the last few years. It can be said that this has resulted in mindsets towards the nature of information and ways of communication to undergo tremendous changes. We have also discovered countless people who possess this ability that we never would have conceived as feasible mere years ago. The abilities of BC can generally be classified into 2 groups. The first one is telepathy, the ability to directly send your voice to another's mind. The other is empathy, the ability to read the voice of another's mind. By describing these 2 abilities with these extremely coherent terms, we can explain them separately. When BC is used, the user's thought information is not converted into another medium. They communicate with their target by sending that thought information directly into their target's brain by using elementary particles as an intermediary. This matches up with what I proposed in my informational field hypothesis. 2 completely unrelated fields of study, parapsychology and elementary particle physics, are connected by BC. Furthermore, while telepathy practitioners are still few, empathy practitioners are even rarer. But the true number of users is not what's important here. It's the fact that an ability such as empathy exists, and also the fact that the existence of information, known as the voice of the mind, can be observed by others, despite previously being unknown to those others than the thinkers themselves. This is indeed the first and biggest paradigm shift of the 21st century. I think the first paradigm shift of the 21st century was the information age really coming into full swing. She's suddenly talking about BC now. Creating a consciousness, nuclear power, biology, BC. How do these 4 things connect? As Natsuko harbored that question, Watase suddenly spoke up. Teach, is what this book says for real? Huh? Is this empathy thing real? Yes, I didn't mention it. I told you that BC was the ability to mutually communicate your ideas to people far away, right? I didn't just mean that you could send your mind's voice to another, but also to read theirs. Various doubts suddenly rose up within Watase's mind. Why did Yuri disappear? Why did Salu run away? Why haven't the other 3 survivors been found yet? But the strongest thought in Watase's mind was, if those kids can read people's minds, and when you take into account they've been running from us, then maybe one of us hates them and they know it. You're close, buddy. Natsuko was frightened by the conclusion Watase was drawing towards. There was an extremely high probability that the girl who called herself Yuri was a communicator. And it was most likely true that Yuri and Salu were running away from someone who hated them. The only thing Watase was missing was the self-awareness that the one who hated them was none other than he himself. Crap, if Watase realizes that fact. Communicators aren't human. They're mind-corrupting monsters. This is a monster hunt. Kill or be killed. Kill, 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 kill. Natsuhiko's consciousness vividly recalled the hatred and murderous intent he had seen within Watase back then. Damn it, I need to do something about Watase's memory right away. But as soon as Natsuhiko tried to interfere with Watase's memory, Watase was suddenly struck by an intense headache. Why? I haven't even done anything yet. That's when Enna noticed Watase was acting strange. What's wrong? I just started feeling sick. Huh? Are you okay? No, he's not, Enna. He just said so. Sorry, but I've got to go to the bathroom. Wait here for me. Hold on a minute. But Watase shook off Enna's voice of concern and flew out of the reference room. And then he rushed into a nearby restroom. Alright, before we do this scene, I'm going to take a quick break. Yep, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Okay, let me bring chat back and the game back. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna save. Oh, excuse me. No matter how much he washed his face with cold water, Watase's headache would not subside. Watase even spewed out gastric juices, leaving Natsuhiko confused. Are these effects of radiation? Or maybe Watase himself doesn't want to remember? Is he refusing to remember that he was full of malice, and this is a result of that rejection? Watase's own feelings of intense confusion were propagated to Natsuhiko. Damn it, I'm thinking about way too much at once. There might be monsters out there who can read people's minds. Oh, yeah. As soon as Watase had that thought, a bizarre spectacle flickered before his eyes. Who are you? I guess you could look at it that way, too. How do you know our names? Because a whole lot of communicators, people can use BC, that is, have been coming to the city. Who's that? Who's that? What was that? Don't tell me Watase's memories are threatening to return. In shock, Natsuhiko strongly appealed to Watase. That's enough, Watase Kasasagi. Don't think too deeply about it. But it had the opposite effect. Wait, could this auditory hallucination be trying to control me? Yeah, I figured that Watase was the man on the bus. No, what if someone's been controlling me this whole time? Then who is the me that I've thought was me up until now? Damn it, Watase. You're starting to jump in shadows. Is he? You're currently right along in his brain after wiping his memories and shattering his mind, Natsuhiko. Watase looked at his reflection in the mirror as if it weren't even his own face. Damn it. What or who should I believe in? Oh, crap. At this rate, he won't even be able to continue the search, will he? Natsuhiko felt an impending sense of danger, but then... Aha! You're overthinking things, Watase. Do that and you'll just wuss out to the point where you won't be able to make sense of anything anymore. Inside the mirror was the face of a girl unfamiliar to both Natsuhiko and Watase. What's going on? Is this bastard hallucinating? Yeah, whomst? That wasn't in Route A. No, could this just be another flashback of a past memory? Was that in Route A? And I just skipped over into my brain? That was in Route A. Huh. I guess so much other stuff happened that kind of fell out of my mind. My bad. Watase's mind suddenly reclaimed its composure. Don't overthink things, huh? With that calm whisper, Watase shut off the water. What just happened? Don't tell me. Natsuhiko recalled was the words Watase had said when he was a murderer. You have precious friends, right? Well, there was someone who was more precious to me than anyone else. Weak but motivated. Stupid but gentle. The very embodiment of light to me. Then was that girl Watase's embodiment of light? But if Watase suddenly saw her, then... Does that mean my frequent manipulation of his memories has only made them more easy to recover? Watase left the restroom. He didn't seem distracted in the slightest. But Natsuhiko couldn't help but feel a little uneasy about him. And immediately after that, Watase witnessed Enna speaking with Salu. And then, like raging waves, Things kept happening, one after another. Anna, be careful of that captain. He's a dangerous man. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Ah, Miss Sonomia, wait! Wait! The two of them rushed to chase her, but what they found wasn't Salou. That sound was... It came from this way. Let's go. However, they spotted what appeared to be a trail of Salou's blood. Let's follow it. Yeah. She's still bleeding. But at the end of their mad dash was... Isn't this a blood transfusion pack? Oh, right, yeah, that. What's something like that doing here? Just then, someone locked him inside the emergency stairwell. And Watase discovered a time bomb hidden inside a fire extinguisher. The bomb's countdown commenced. Open! Open up, you goddamn son of a bitch! Watase desperately screamed, but the door wouldn't open. It's no good. As soon as Natsuhiko thought that. Captain Kasasagi, out of the way! Okay. Okay, so it was probably Ukita who locked them in. Excuse me. It was probably Ukita who locked them in. So Ukita knew about this bomb, if it was him. Yeah, I think it was Ukita who was... Yeah. Why did Professor Tsubakiyama have a gun? Natsuhiko was astonished, but Enna calmly raised her voice. Smash the door down now! Hurry! Right! Watase kicked down the fire door in accordance with Enna's command. The two of them ran away from the bomb. Since he knows where to find a time bomb, that indicates that he was in league with the terrorists, but if that's the case, it raises the question why he was in the basement when he knew this would happen. Well, simple enough question, or a simple enough answer, is Watase locked him in that room before he could get away. Like, if they were in league with each other, we know that Watase took Ukita's card. Well, we don't know for certain that that's the case. Ukita says it's the case. I actually think I believe him on that. Watase took Ukita's card and locked him in that room. Yeah, Watase took Ukita's card and locked him in that room, so Ukita could not escape. And I think that happened Wait, hang on. No, because all the doors were open until the lockdown occurred. All the doors were open until the lockdown occurred. Was Ukita in there? Okay, what's the timeline? So, the lockdown occurs... Okay, so... the kids run into two of the terrorists. And then they escape from them. and then the lockdown occurs, and then Watase shows up and chases them down. At some point in that, Ukita gets locked in... At some point during that, Ukita gets locked in that... Was it the surveillance room that he was in? It's literally been 30 hours of gameplay in 6 or 7 months. Was it the surveillance room that Ukita was locked in, or was it some other room? There's a room that you can see security camera footage as well as make announcements over comms. Okay. So my guess is that Ukita stayed behind because he was trying to get some material or information out of hang on. No, wait. Ukita had Area N access. What if Ukita is the one who set off this radiation leak that caused the Case N lockdown, and then he went to the security room, or the security camera room, Watase then Watase was there. That he or they saw the kids escape the other 2 terrorists. Watase left to track the kids down, taking Ukita's security card so that Ukita would be exactly where Watase left him when it was time to escape. So that leaves the question, if that's the case, who killed the terrorists? Because Ukita would not have been able to. I think that means that Enna killed the terrorists. Enna killed Watase's accomplices. Is she a government agent? Is she in the employ of Labo? She's not just a teacher. There's no way she's just a teacher. Yeah, that's my operating theory. Ukita set off the area and the Case N, and then got locked in the security room by Watase. Enna is the one who killed the other 2 terrorists. That is my guess. That is my guess. It'll be funny if it takes another 12 hours to find out if I'm right. I expect you to praise me profusely once I find out the answer if I'm correct. I will have earned that. I think that's the timeline. Alright, let's continue. The 2 of them ran away from the bomb. Teach, get down! But the blast never came. Trap, bomb, gun, dud. Support and suspicions. The quick succession of events left Natsuhiko dumbfounded. It was then that June and Ukita came rushing in one after another. Captain, Miss Tsubakiyama. I heard a most peculiar sound. What happened? Watase looked at Enna's hands in surprise to see the black luster of a pistol. Miss Tsubakiyama? What are you doing with a pistol? But Natsuhiko's surprise was incomparable to theirs. Why? Why would Professor Tsubakiyama have a gun? His doubts about Enna rapidly deepened. She didn't offer Natsuhiko, Mashiro, and Salu any help when they asked for her cooperation. Mashiro said that she wasn't opening her heart to them. But while that may have been true, it wasn't as if Natsuhiko had grown to hate Enna. In Natsuhiko's eyes, Enna was at times gentle, at times strict, and at times charming. You missed an S on the middle time, and an all-around good teacher. And yet, here she was, holding a pistol. She was a completely different Enna from the one Natsuhiko had known. Professor, what on earth are you? As soon as he had that thought, he recalled the gruesome scene he saw earlier. Okay, but who killed the kid? Because that happened after the lockdown, after Watase was... Okay, so Watase locks Ukita in the security room. Then he goes to chase down Mashiro and Natsuhiko. The child is not dead at that point. Watase is then on screen or just off screen for the entire time period between being in the cargo elevator room and reaching Area N. Watase could not have killed the child. So it was someone else. Interesting. And Ukita, if he was locked away, could also not have killed the child. So that takes them out of the running for who killed the child. And that leaves Enna, who has been armed. It's possible the other terrorists killed the child. But I don't think it's likely. I think either Enna or Kazumi killed that kid. But why? Was Enna acting under Labo's orders to dispose of evidence? Is she a counter-terrorism agent? Who killed the kid? No. Professor Tsubakiyama isn't a killer. As Natsuhiko shook off that doubt that had plagued him for just a moment, Ukita and June began to interrogate Enna. What's the meaning of this? Why do you have something like that with you? Yeah, I thought you were a teacher. Hold on a minute, you're all making a big misunderstanding. This pistol isn't mine. I found it here in Labo. That sounded like a lazy excuse, but Watase told everyone to believe in her. Wait, you believe her? Well, we can't prove otherwise, so yeah, nothing we can do about that. That's pretty nonchalant. Eventually, at Watase's suggestion, they disassembled the gun and divided the parts between Ukita, Enna, and June. But that still didn't clear Natsuhiko's reservations. Professor. As Watase and the others moved towards Area 6 to chase after Salu, a somewhat lonely breeze blew through Natsuhiko's mind. By the time Natsuhiko finally got his mind off Enna, Watase was already alone in Area 6's inner ring. Danger and falsification. Watase was going room to room, searching for Salu. Is this the time period when he finds dead Yuri? Eventually, his eyes fell onto a certain PC monitor. Test subjects an IGF-2R gene type. Subject A, hereditary IGF-2R gene abnormality, type S, deceased. Subject N, hereditary IGF-2R gene abnormality, type S. Subject Y, IGF-2R gene type 4, showed no signs of genetic mutation via WX particles, discarded. Subject Y2, acquired IGF-2R gene abnormality type S, natural IGF-2R gene abnormality type C. Okay, so Subject N is obviously not Tahiko. Subject Y... Subject Y might be Yuri. No, hang on. Okay, so Subject Y was discarded. Subject Y was discarded, but does that... Why is discarding? No precedent regarding releases. Expected problems, memory recovery, etc. Okay. Okay, so... Subject A is a type S and is dead. Was Subject A Yuri? And is obviously not Tahiko. One of the other three is Yuri. One of the other three, probably Y2, is what I'm thinking is the Yuri clone. What was Mashiro's first name? Wasn't it Mashiro? It's Mashiro Toba, right? So, none of these is Mashiro. Okay. Subject A might be a red herring. Wait. Hang on. Oh, was it Alba? AOBA? No, that would be the surname, which wouldn't match Natahiko and Yuri being the given name initials. Okay, so was Subject A the woman Watase hallucinated? Maybe. Possibly. Possibly. Probably not. But possibly. Subject N is obviously not Tahiko. Subject Y showed no signs of genetic mutation via WX particles. Okay. Was Subject Y Yuri, and she was discarded. She was discarded because she was not killed, she was discarded and abandoned as an experimental test subject. Okay, that kind of matches with Yuri as a possibility. Subject Y2. Is that the Yuri clone? Expected... Why is discarding expected problem memory recovery? Okay. So Yuri was discarded, sent away, and lost her memory. Okay, yeah, that's what I think is going on here. Subject N is Natsuhiko. Subject Y is Yuri. Subject Y2 is the Yuri clone. If that's a clone? Natural IGF-2R gene abnormality type C. Okay. Observation targets an IGF-2R gene type. Special observation target NA. Hereditary IGF-2R gene abnormality type S. NA2 acquired it. Natural IGF-2R gene abnormality type C. Special observation target U. Type 4. Ka. Hereditary type D. Ma. Hereditary type B. Observation target Mashiro. Ma, level 5, consider a radiation test. Na2. Is there a Natsuhiko clone? Observation target Ka. There is a Ka. There's one Ka. Kazumi. Subject Y, Arrow U, September 10th, 2030, when Root B started. Huh. Is that when they decanted the Yuri clone? It's possible Kazumi is a communicator, yeah. Is that why she and Watase broke up? September 10th is when Route B started, yes. September 10th through 16th. This is the 16th. Route B is the week immediately preceding Route A. Through all this, I have to point out, we haven't gotten any new tips. At all. Okay. Subject N, April 7th, 2021. And 3 months later, Labo had a fire. Was What's-His-Face, the guy who died setting the fire, trying to destroy a Natsuhiko clone? Huh. Possible. What is this? Subject? IGF-2R gene? Observation target? No, more importantly. Subject Y-U, September 10th, 2030. September 10th? That's the day everything started changing, wasn't it? Excuse me. What the hell is this file? What does any of this mean? At the same time, Natsuhiko felt something off about some of the descriptors. A bizarre sight suddenly flickered in Watase's brain. I think it's because they're basically scared of those people. She was ostracized by others because of that power, even before that incident. What in God's name is this? Was that a severed head? What? His memories are coming back again. But why? What's bringing it back? The event took Natsuhiko by surprise, and 1 second later, Watase fled out of the room. What? What the hell's he doing? For some reason, Watase was in complete disarray. His mind was whirling with rage and discomfort. And once again, past memories came back. Why did you do something so horrible to me back then? I swore I erased that memory. But but that memory came bursting out nevertheless. So Captain Kasasagi, please let me know your mind. Huh? Why did I... Bewildered, Watase tottered out of the stairwell. And right after that, the test subjects are dangerous. The test subjects are dangerous. The test subjects are dangerous? What's gotten into him? Natsuhiko was left in confusion as that idea rose up inside of Watase. Wait, hang on. You too could be... Hang on. I forgot Salu's middle name. It's Yui. You too could be Salu. And Salu showed up on September 10th. Hang on. Was I correct that Salu was an experiment by the Labo people? Maybe she did grow up in France, but... Huh. Natsuhiko was left in confusion as that idea rose up inside of Watase. Don't tell me she was a test subject? Is that why reading the document provoked Watase's memories? Natsuhiko panicked and dove deeper into Watase's mind. The test subjects are dangerous. The test subjects are dangerous. The test subjects are dangerous. What the hell was that? What the hell were those words? Ow, 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 ow. I don't know them. I've never heard those words before. What is this? It was clear that Watase was fearfully resisting the hatred that was seething within his mind. But the jet-black hatred gradually corroded that fear, painting it out. The hatred then evolved further into murderous intent. Wait, no, hang on. Salu can't use BC? Is she hiding it, or does she just not know? Has it not been unlocked? The hatred then evolved further into murderous intent. If this keeps up, Watase will revert back to how he was back then. I need to do something about his memories. No, but then, considering the damage memory erasure inflicted upon Watase, any further memory erasure could very well kill him. And naturally, if Watase died, Natsuhiko would vanish. Then what do I do? How can I seal Watase's hatred? Think, there's got to be a way. Watase was scared of Yuri for some reason. He hated her and wanted to murder her. Even though normally he cared for her and tried to keep her safe. Oh! The vision of dead Yuri was Natsuhiko planting it. Okay, so that makes Watase change his mind about Yuri. Each time his memories threatened to return, so too would his fear, hatred, and murderous intent. In that case, why don't I just get the jump on Watase and give him the misconception that she's already dead? I'm sure that would erase his fear of her, as well as his hatred and murderous intent. He didn't know if it would work. But if he left things as is, Watase could very well regain his memories. Natsuhiko had no choice but to take chances with his plan. Create an image of a dead Yuri in Watase's memory. And thus, Natsuhiko fabricated another memory for Watase. Explains that. So, okay. So if that didn't happen, where was Tulpa Yuri from the moment she escaped Watase to the end? Where did she go? Huh. 5 minutes later, Watase remained frozen on the spot as if he were dead. Hey, how long do you plan to stay like that? Driven by anxiety, Natsuhiko called out to Watase. Hey, get a hold of yourself already. How long are you gonna space out for? Hurry up and get back to the others. Watase was shaken back to consciousness by Natsuhiko's voice. He then tottered back to the factory, where everyone was waiting. Looks like it'd be best for me not to tamper with your memory any further than this. So please, Watase, don't try to regain your memory anymore. Natsuhiko prayed. But the distortion caused by his actions was soon exposed. When Watase reported Yuri's death to everyone, their eyes widened in shock. Impossible! How can she be dead? Was it an accident? Was she murdered? I don't know, but I found her body. That's a fact. Okay, so here's the thing that just occurred to me. What if... What if Tulpa Yuri... No, wait, because Yuri gained Tulpa Yuri gained consciousness after lockdown happened. And she was in the clothes that Natsuhiko had always imagined her in. So Tulpa Yuri is a tulpa, not a clone. Okay. She is a construct of Natsuhiko's brain. Okay. So Tulpa Yuri is not Y2. Okay, so Y2 is probably the dead child. I don't know, but I found her body. That's a fact. Where? Where did you find her? Come with me. It's this way. It all went downhill from there. The body's gone. Good grief. Are you sure you weren't just seeing things? I'm not lying. There really was a body here, I swear. There was a girl with blood pouring down her head. She was dead, no matter how you looked at... Blood? But I don't see any blood stains anywhere. Shit, how did I not see this coming? Well, because you're 16, and kind of thinking on your feet here, Natsuhiko. The problems kept piling on as Natsuhiko stood by, unable to do anything. That's where the choice rupee ads happens, yeah. The AD's gone? Okay. So... Okay. Excuse me. The AD was taken. Was it taken by Salu? Can't have been, because otherwise she'd have used it on herself. Maybe she would have used it on herself. But, oh wait, no, it doesn't matter if she used it on herself. The level of radiation at the end when she showed up shaking like a leaf was too high for AD to counterattack. Never mind. Counteract, not counterattack. Okay, so who took the AD? I don't think the people who drew this background had ever seen an MRI machine before. Okay. I believe Watase was gone. Everyone had split up. So it's possible that any of them took the AD. This can't be happening. Damn it, how the hell did this happen? How, you ask? It's obvious. Someone stole the AD, that's how. He's right, and what's more, the culprit must be one of us. Okay. Ukita, late in the game, showed no signs of radiation poisoning. So I think Ukita took the AD and dosed himself on the regular. Yes. He's right, and what's more, the culprit must be one of us. No, there's no way that one of us did it. Are you sure about that, Watase? Well, when Watase took everyone there to dispel their suspicions, he came face to face with the truth that denied the illusion Natsuhiko had bestowed upon him. Huh? He didn't find a body. Watase was cast in doubt. Were you lying to us? No. They pressed him further. You claimed you went down to the basement to rescue survivors, but perhaps that's yet another lie. Ukita knows it's a lie. And in reality, you came down for a completely different purpose. What different purpose? Isn't it obvious? To kill. And at the end, what Ukita and Jun thrust before Watase. Come on, tell me, Captain, did you really come here to save lives? Or glares of rage and bloodlust? Oh, crap. The situation's even worse than the last time Watase was cast under doubt. But Natsuhiko was painfully aware of why they doubt Watase. After all, Watase had shot both him and Mashiro. Natsuhiko vividly recalled Mashiro's tearful voice and Salu's wounded body. But now, Watase and I are in the same boat. And I hate to admit it, but the current Watase is a reliable rescue worker. Yeah, like, Natsuhiko is like, yeah, no, this Watase is great. It's the other Watase I gotta keep from coming back, but this Watase? Fantastic. I like him. Now that I have no body of my own, I can't save Salu or Yuri without his help. So I need to do everything I can to clear this bastard of suspicion. He knew he had to, but he didn't know how. But right after that, someone completely unexpected stood up for Watase. Hold on, you two. You guys are acting a little weird. And yet you turned your backs on him the moment the AD disappeared? What kind of sane person does that? No, Professor. If you stick up for Watase in this situation. Jun and Ukita glared at Enna. Why are you on the captain's side after hearing everything we've just said? I mean, you barely know the guy, right? Unless the two of you are in cahoots or something. I see. Now I get it. I always did think you were acting strange. Now I finally understand. You two are planning to just save yourselves and leave the rest of us to die. You were the ones who hid the AD, weren't you? All so you could have it all to yourselves. Jun and Ukita sidled up to Watase and Enna, prompting Natsuhiko to shout a warning to Watase. Man, that Jun face is so freaky. It's too dangerous. Take Professor Tsubakiyama and run. Heeding Natsuhiko, Watase took Enna's hand and ran. Trying to run? Not good. Hold them down. And with those voices at their backs, Watase and Enna fled. Current Chapter 3. 2 to 3 p.m. chapter. Okay, so we've been going for 3 hours, and we went for 5.5 hours yesterday. And it is almost 90 degrees outside, and I'm cooking in my room. I would really like to run my AC for a while and chill out. We've done about the 8 hours I owe you for this month. Would it be cool with you if we stop here for the day at this chapter break? Cool. Excellent. Thank you. In that case, let's save. Save. Yeah, like, it's 90 degrees outside, and I'm on a second floor room with a bunch of running electronics. It is very hot in here. I am cooking. So yeah, I'm going to get off and I'm going to run my AC for a while. So yeah. Route C is proceeding very well compared to Route B. I'm liking it. And seeing the... okay, so Route A was kind of long-winded and dragged its feet a little, but it had tons of mysteries and tons of things to speculate about. Route B did not. But Route C, so far, has been me putting the pieces together. And it's been pointing me to put the pieces together in a very fun way. So I'm back to really liking this game. This is refreshing after Route B. Moves at a much better clip too, yeah. We're zooming along. We're almost at the end of Route A. One more chapter, I'll bet. So yeah, that's what we're going to end for today. So I'll read my schedule and get off. Before I do, I would like to plug my Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/Loreweaver streams. The link's also in the description of the YouTube video and can be found with the !Patreon command in Twitch chat. I make my living off of Patreon. It's my sole source of income, and I make enough to pay my rent and my bills, but I'm mostly just scraping by beyond that. And I'd really like some more stability, some savings, for medical emergencies, for if I need to replace stuff. That's something I haven't had for a very long time. So if you could go to my Patreon and pledge $1 a month or $1 per stream or anything in between, I'd be grateful. I'm grateful to everybody who pledges because you're the reason I have this strange, silly job that I love so much. If it weren't for you guys, I would still be a telemarketer or a burger flipper or some other equally horrible, soul-sucking job that I hated. So, thank you. There is also a new patronage tier on my Patreon where you can pick a game for me to, a demo or a game that I have or something you just want me to try out for an hour, and I'll record a video where I play it and upload it to YouTube. That's a $10 tier, and there are 12 slots that I'm starting it with, so grab them while they're open. I'd be grateful to everybody who does that, because honestly, a little extra money would go a long way. So yeah, that's my Patreon spiel. My schedule: tomorrow we'll be continuing Final Fantasy XIV. We'll be doing some A Realm Reborn relic questing. Sunday I'll be playing The Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky 2nd chapter for a patron. Monday will be Wolfenstein: The New Order for a patron. Tuesday will be Ogre Battle 64 for a patron. Wednesday I'll be playing Crosscode for a patron. Thursday I don't have anything scheduled. I'm probably recording a podcast that day. Friday will be Yakuza 0 for a patron. And next Saturday will of course be Final Fantasy XIV. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time. To the AC!